Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are still in New Tristram. It is still a pit, deserving only of purgation by flame. And this man still has a lot to answer for.
The crown is in my keeping. Direct me now to the lost king.
At last. With it, you can unlock the sealed door in the room where you rescued me and enter the royal crypts. When you find the Skeleton King, place the crown atop his head and destroy him.
The Skeleton King's sickness infects this land. I will put an end to it and find the star.
And no doubt have to clean up your little necromantic mess in the process, Kane. So, back to the cathedral. Nice little time slip from Blizzard there. Ooh, shiny. Deal with that first. Not that shiny, but hey, gold's gold. Just don't ask where you got it from and trade it in later. Now then. Yes. Ominous music, we're clearly on the right track. Although we couldn't really have gone wrong so far. Let's just scout the place out. Don't imagine we're coming back this way after all. Nothing there. Did they build this entire cathedral in a colossal cavern? Right. Oh, lovely sickly green glows. Excellent. We are most definitely on the right track. Let us continue on. Oh, what's this? Enlightened Shrine. Oh, XP bonus. Perfect. That's always good. And there's a big crowd of mobs to indulge in. Don't give it a burst spiral there. Okay, this is... That's it. Now we can deal with knocking down. There's another summoner down here, isn't there? Okay. Now the dogs get to not too well. Clear out the summons fast, and we're going to get zerged. Oh, terrific. Yeah. Yes, back up, I think it's space and a potion, but that's all cooldown. Grab the health chunk and back up hard. I need some distance here. Remember, it's not cowardice, it's sound tactics. Pop, and one of the dogs, 15
Need
seconds.
More time.
Right. Hello, Cuddles. I bypass you and leave you in the dust for a second. I didn't think we'd kill that summoner. Okay, so that's dead. No more summoners, so this is just going to be a tight phase. Don't need to stay close to these guys. Okay. That is actually a bit of a challenge. Right. And I think I was laughing about melee mobs with knockback. That could actually get nasty if they flank you. This is what I get for underestimating the enemy. And indeed for underestimating Blizzard as well. So, fresh dogs. Armour that's probably not really worth the space. And, right, let's backtrack and clean out these areas. In fact, let's just speed this up until we get to something a little more actiony. While Blizzard's pacing is usually pretty good, we're starting to hit that area again where there's been no new mobs, no new content, and it's all starting to feel a bit samey once again. Now, if they've got this right, new spawn mechanism, but same old mobs, so keep it coming. Alright, dum 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 dee dum 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 diddly dum 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 diddly dum dum dum. Just fall over and die. Right. Okay, something a little more interesting here. One unburied. These are clearly intended as elite melee mobs, the kind of thing that you don't really want to be getting close to if you're a squishy caster and ranged DPS class. So I should probably follow my advice. And we've got another melee knockback mob.
Smile upon me.
Ding. Okay. Quite a rich one as well. Right, new skill. Horrify. Well, that sounds like it could be interesting, but it clashes with the zombie dogs. Channel the hose of the... Right. You know what? I think I'm going to stick with the dogs, all things told. Okay. Let us continue on. And obviously get fresh dogs. Oh, skeleton in the barrel. I don't even want to know how that happened. The funeral customs of Sanctuary are truly strange. Okay, and it looks like we're just going to go through flashbacks for a bit. So, break out the fast forward once again. Although I did miss that summoning circle off to the right of the screen, so... Well, I suppose I could go back and clean it out at some point if it's still there. I suppose in many respects this particular problem was inevitable with Diablo III. The longer you run a series, the more codified it gets, the more formulaic really it gets. And you hit a point where you know what's coming. You know what the gameplay is going to be, and you can't innovate too far without getting the "you've changed it, now it sucks" effects from the fandom. I mean, witness really what's been going on with Pandaria. At the same time, any game series that wants to stay vibrant, I suppose, has got to not necessarily innovate, I suppose, but remix itself on occasions. So with Diablo 3, for example, they, as I understand it, gutted out all but one of the hero classes. I believe they kept the Barbarian from the older games. But they've kept enough of the RPG archetypes, so you have the close-in melee brute, you have the ranged DPS, you have the magic wielders, etc., etc. And, that was actually a little innovative, coming through the windows. Granted, it's a graphical take of climbing over the cliffs, but excellent, we have something interesting. Okay, cult ritual. Cain's acolytes, no doubt. Let us make with the purging. With a bit of luck, that chap in the middle will come in handy. If nothing else, we can throw him in front of a few zombies as a distraction. Oh, he's actually got some fight in him, even better. Alright, finish these idiots off. And demolish the scaffolding while we're at it. And there we go. Alright, let's see what you've got to say.
You will know soon enough. Help me find my gear. I will reward you well.
Excellent, he has a clear understanding of RPG economics. Puppies.
I go to face the skeleton.
Apparently you had a plan beyond getting caught and turned into some kind of zombie thrall. I hope, because facing the Skeleton King is all very well, but you're supposed to face him when you're still alive and capable of scourging him. Right, let's plough through this little lot. And under the circumstances, go gadget fast forward. It's interesting how fast you evolve a general strategy for dealing with these mobs. It's very much take out the summoners, take out the ranged, leave the skellies and the melee until last. And I suppose that's kind of what you'd expect for what are, as I've said, essentially disposable XP pinatas at this point. They're not really intended to be a threat. I imagine I would be singing a very different tune if I was playing this on a higher difficulty, and if I was playing it on Inferno, I would doubtless be singing either the Dies Irae or no doubt some off-key lamentation. Probably played backwards and using badly tuned synths as well. Right, keep ploughing forward. Our new friend has got his gear back, and that's all to the good because it now means he's prodding somewhat more buttock than he was earlier, although I have to admit it's very much a case of, oh right, well I suppose if you can keep a few undead busy it's all good, they're not trying to eat me, I'll just get on with doing the important stuff. Okay, so zappy zappy, burn, zappy zappy, burn. Hack down the boss because of course he's also summoning minions, put them out of commission once he's gone and can't replace them, and hope that this isn't going to take much... Oh good, no, it isn't going to take much longer. Apparently those were very cheap spikes. Oh well.
You were a Templar, John Dark. How could you succumb to this coven? The coven is
well, I assume they offered him good dental. But you won't. Right. I've tried to shoot straight, but while the Templars and dogs are soaking up the skellies, we're just going to focus on kiting the boss, who is going down like a sack of wet potatoes. Actually, that's a good point. What does it think like a sack of wet potatoes? I mean, wet potatoes are just wet potatoes. Given the average moisture content of potatoes, they're pretty damp anyway, so... yeah. Like a sack of very feeble things. Insert your own metaphor there, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, is he dead yet? No, right. What am I shooting if it's not shooting him? Oh, okay, let's just burn them all. Come on. Thank you. Get a bit of distance. Excellent. So, is he planning to specifically sprint to that one specific point? Or is it just a generic fall over and die there?
Evil magic. Betrayal can never be forgiven.
I like this guy. He's got the right attitude.
I will go with you on your hunt for the Skeleton King, but there is one condition. If we
of course
find
there
the
is.
sacred tomes of my order, they are mine.
Agreed.
Then onwards we go to fight the Skeleton King.
With the exception, of course, that if we find ourselves short of toilet paper, they may get repurposed. What do you mean, again? You never left... oh, okay, right, so... oh, heal. Yes, that sounds like an excellent idea. Right, can we get him something a bit better? Looks like we can upgrade weapons and maybe a few other bits and pieces. Let's see, give him that javelin for a start. Excellent, at least he's suitably appreciative. Can we give him armour as well? No. Oh well.
Fear is a part of life. If you live, you fear.
Only the insane have no fear. Right. Let's see, can we go this way? Nope. Dead end. Okay. Look. What is that? Treasure pygmy. Get it! Kill, kill, kill. Kill, 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 kill. It was bait, wasn't it? Terrific. Okay, bring in the dogs. Hoover up the girl and keep beating that until it falls over. Did it just gate out? Yes, it did just gate out. Okay, fair enough, I'm not complaining. Got a lot of cash. I can assume he'd been hoovering up the corpses around here as well. Sensible little demon. Gotta love the initiative. And, hey, new mob as well. Skeleton archers. Lovely out of infantry space. And, as ambushes go, that one was singularly lacking. Let's crack on, see what we can find. And for the sake of keeping this video at a reasonable length, we'll crank everything up to 5 times normal speed until we hit the end of this particular section, or until something interesting happens, whichever comes first. I suppose in many respects it reflects a conundrum that DMs and GMs have faced since really the first RPGs ever hit, which is, if you're going to design a dungeon with one major route through and several little side branches, as Blizzard seem to have done here, although they've done considerably more than several little side branches, several dozen in fact, then you have to decide how many side branches your players are going to wander down before they hit the end boss. If you assume they're going to wander down all of them and they don't, they're going to get to the main boss and you're going to have done your calculations based on their experience, based on their gear, and they're going to be behind that curve. They're going to be relatively ungeared and the boss is going to stomp them. Equally, if you assume that they're going to do none of the sidelines, if they're just going to pile straight on through, then you have the opposite problem. They'll get to the boss, you expected them to be level X, they're actually level X plus 5, their gear is similarly overpowered, and the epic climactic confrontation with Cherubale turns into an embarrassing little curb stomp. Well, embarrassing for the demon, I suppose, but hey, ever since he had that run-in with Gregor, he's never been quite the same. It's an interesting form of karma, though, that anyone who buys a guidebook or gets it off the internet and plows straight down the main route in this game is probably going to suffer as a consequence. That, I suppose, is what you get for reading spoilers. Bwahahahahahaha. For me, however, it's creating a more interesting issue because I've been dungeon crawling in one form or another for 25 years. I mean, I started out with things like the Warlock of Firetop Mountain and Hero Quest, so I've picked up certain habits, one of which is always making sure you have some form of healing on tap, another of which is checking everything, and of course serial kleptomania. Indeed, if I could have equipped a crowbar on this character, I would have done so. Nailing stuff down only prevents a really incompetent thief these days. I mean, honestly, who doesn't bring a way of getting locks open? Only real novices or people who just don't prepare? Oh, ding. Right, let's carry on. Okay, Soul Harvest. This could be fun. Right, hoover up, dump out any white, and let's see. Okay, so right, so that's basically a stat leech, isn't it? Let's try the new spiders as well. I'm not sure how much of an improvement these are going to be, but since I've now got the bats as a direct nuke, I might just be able to get away with throwing mobs at the enemy and then burning them in best inquisitorial tradition. Yes, I'm aware I'm running a witch doctor, not an inquisitor. Do you really want to argue with somebody who can kill you with incendiary bats? Well, I have to admit, these new spiders are being just as feeble as the old lot, aren't they? Oh well, it was worth a try. Back to the Dark Giver. Okay, now where is this exit? It's got to be around here somewhere. I suppose I should be grateful for the auto map. I mean, there have been games where you didn't get maps, and oh well, that could be fun. EverQuest 1 I don't believe had one. I don't believe EverQuest 2 had an auto map either. Needless to say, that was one of the first things that got modded in. Actually, no, I'm wrong. EverQuest 2 did have a map, it just wasn't particularly useful. And there were several key zones where you didn't even get that. Right, so I think we've just about hoovered out everything down here. Could be wrong, but easily corrected if I am. Are those things on a dice roll to trigger every time you go past? Right. Was it that simple? Oh god. Right, well the inventory's full, so let's take a quick trip back to town and dump the loot. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I will call a halt. I will see you next time.